Okay. So I just wanted to talk for 2 minutes today about anxiety. Um, and I'm only going to talk about it in one context because I know that's another, we could have a whole one of these on anxiety. But I was working with a client one-on-one yesterday. Colleen, thumbs up. Yeah. All right, for sure. We'll do anxiety. And I was talking to her because she said she has a lot of it, and I had a lot of it too. I still, of course, I think every human being has it from time to time, whether you would consider yourself anxious or not. But she said to me, I have it so much, and we were talking about her inner wisdom, as we've talked about a lot here, and knowings and this deeper wisdom and intelligence. And she said, I don't know how to tell the difference between the two because like my anxiety will tell me what to do. And I was just listening and getting suspicious. And I thought, And I said to her, your anxiety is never your wisdom. Your anxiety, wisdom, common sense, intelligence never feels like anxiety. Truth never feels like anxiety. The next step to take in life, safety, how to get back to peace. All of these things never feel like anxiety. And I think that's a beautiful thing to take off the table is when we feel that emergency feeling or we feel sped up or we feel scared, with compassion and with patience and with understanding. I mean, of course, that's uncomfortable, but we can at least go, okay, this is a human experience I'm having. This is thought brought to life by my feelings. And it's a feedback telling me I have a lot of anxious thinking on my mind right now. I know we don't like it, but this is just kind of stepping outside of it a little bit. And I love these words. This is like my Rolodex whenever I feel this way. This isn't reliable. This isn't filled with truth. This isn't informative. This isn't helpful. And this isn't the best of what's available to me. And when we stop needing anxiety to be our friend and give us useful information about feedback about our lives or where we are in our life or how we can get out of the situation we're in or how we can take care of ourselves and our family, then anxiety, what it is, it's energy, like all the other energies that move through us, feelings, thoughts, energies. It comes, it gives us whatever experience it gives us, whether we like it or not, and then it leaves. Energy leaves, we've talked about this before, energy leaves when we don't need it for something. We're not hanging on to it. And we don't tend to hang on to energy, thought, feeling, all of that so much when we start to just kind of have a higher understanding and vantage point of it and go, oh my God, my whole life has never taken me, like when you hop on Anxiety Road, it never takes you to Peace Avenue, connected to your family and your loved ones avenue. It never takes you to Safety Avenue. It takes you to Anxiety Avenue. And when we just start seeing like, oh my God, this is an energy and experience as anger is, as jealousy is, as joy is, as happiness and excitement, and they're all different experiences we can have internally. But it isn't informative. It isn't God. It isn't soul. It isn't higher self. It isn't the rule book of life. It isn't safety speaking. It's a traumatized brain doing what a traumatized brain does, throwing out emergencies from one moment in time. Not wise. So we don't have to stop it when it's here because what we resist persists. We don't have to fight against it and go, oh my God, this is awful. This sucks. I don't want this here. Our wisdom will tell us what we need to do, right? Breathe, meditate, get medication, try something natural, go to my regular doctor, whatever our wisdom knows will be best for us, or get a coaching call. Maybe I need to learn more. We will be guided to whatever it is that we need to understand more about it or help us in the moment. Sometimes our wisdom says do something about it. Sometimes it says don't do something about it, depending on what we understand about it in the moment. But just that, to know that wisdom, so it's understanding anxiety and it's understanding wisdom. Wisdom never feels bad. Common sense never feels bad. Um, Intelligence, that stuff is just so blatantly obvious. Like, here's this piece of information. Boom. It's like the no bullcrap friend who just gives it to you like it is, but in an unconditionally loving way. This, that person's a good person. That person's got some weird stuff going on. Don't be friends with them. Quit drinking milk. You stop working so much. Get outside in the sun. Like, it's just this. We have it all the time. And this is what happens, especially those of you that are mothers can probably relate to this. I'm not a mother, but I work with a lot of mothers who deal with this. Your wisdom is working at the same time as your anxiety. So you and your wisdom's telling you, this is what I need to do to keep my kids and my family safe and myself and this and that. And it's just that next step. And you're also having anxiety that's been there from God knows when, trying to run the show. And so they're happening at the same time. So you go, yeah. So you go, I need this in order to have this. Like, if this goes away, everybody will die. You know, if this goes away, everything's going to fall apart and I'm going to lose control and it's not going to be okay. But if this goes away, you're thinking you're 100% all of the time held by wisdom, by intelligence, by common sense. That part is unbreakable in you and always there. So your experiment or homework, if you wish to take it, is this week, start to notice that wisdom about how to take care of yourself and your family and your life and whatever is there, and notice that at the same time, so is anxiety. And if you can start to, when you feel the anxiety, go, okay, this isn't what wisdom feels like. This is thinking. This is a human experience. So I can have it if I want. It's going to eventually peter itself out, and a new thinking, a human experience is going to come. But I don't have to make a decision from this place. It's not my rule book of life. It isn't a higher consciousness. Like, there's no anxiety in nature besides humanity, right? The animals just do what they need to do. Nature does what it needs to do. The squirrels aren't like, oh my God, how am I going to feed my family? They're just like, shit, I need to get some more acorns. I better go out and do it. So same with us. Like, if we just look, that doesn't exist. We just misunderstand what it is. All of us. I did for years. I didn't know that it was feedback telling me I'm caught up in my head. It isn't source. It isn't wisdom. It isn't intelligence and safety telling me what I need to be okay. It's a disturbed mind. It's my mind on one, as all minds get on one. And the more we kind of understand that, we tend to let it be a little bit, do its kicking and screaming. We don't get in there and make such a mess. So it goes, and then guess what? Our wisdom, our common sense gets louder, and we start to go, wow, I've never needed that. So it comes, okay, we're humans, it's there, but I don't need it for anything. Two totally different ways to experience life. So that's what I got for you on anxiety today. Hopefully that's helpful. You guys can put your music on if you want now, and let's meditate. Let's relax a little bit. So you can sit up, you can lay down. Just want you guys to get comfortable in your space. Good. And so just let yourself bring your awareness, as always. Sorry, I was choking on my coffee. Bring yourself into this room where you are. And just bring your awareness to that connection between your physical body and the cushions underneath of you, and just let yourself slowly settle in. And as always, just let yourself slowly start to bring some breath into the belly, into the rib cage, into the chest. What if, I want you just to ponder something so beautiful. What if I've never had anxiety? I know that can be hard for my brain. But what if for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of my life, I've just been innocently misunderstanding the feedback of the feeling of anxiety? I thought it was something that I had, as opposed to a stronger and stronger feeling telling me that I'm misusing, I'm misunderstanding what this means. I'm misunderstanding that this is helpful. And so it's just been hanging around, because when we think something's helpful, it stays. I just didn't know what was not helpful and what was helpful in there. So I thought I had this thing. And it might be very habitual, so it might look like that. But it's a very consistent, reliable feedback. Otherwise, we wouldn't know we were caught up in really useless thinking if we didn't feel that way. So thank goodness we're aware that there's more power in our mind than we realized. So just see if you can contemplate this, and maybe lean towards the possibility of what I'm saying being true. And let your mind open you up to thoughts that are in alignment with this in your own time. I wonder, just curious. And just let that physical body start to settle in. Even if you feel anxious, now you know that it'll fade on its own when we start to understand it, become more suspicious of it. It's not our buddy keeping us safe. It's a disturbed mind, caught in time and space, repeating itself. We don't have to make it go away. It goes away on its own when we lean more towards wisdom and common sense. We get a feel for what safety and creativity and resilience really is. And that happens over time. So you really let yourself settle in and rest. And you let your face soften. And you let your jaw relax. Shoulders a little farther from the ears, letting the chest relax. Belly, hips. Even see if you can let your hands and your feet completely soften, dissolve. Nothing to type or hold up right now, nothing to stand on. Full permission for the body to be lazy, perfectly useless, nothing to figure out or do. Just more to understand internally. And that occurs naturally as we get the manual, as we do every week. Just let that breath relax you a little bit more, taking you a little deeper. Easy inhales and easy exhales. Just slowing everything down. Nice and still, nice and quiet. Nice soft eyes, nice melty body. Really let yourself be at the beach, be at the pool, be under the stars, wherever you are, your body just relaxes a little bit more. Wow, what if what I thought was real wasn't all along? What if I'm safe in here and I just had no idea? What if I'm okay and I've always been okay? What if I'm guided and I was never taught? And the body relaxes into this truth a little bit more. And you start to settle in and rest, as there is nowhere to go right now. There's nothing to do. There's no where or one to be. Your only task is to gently breathe and settle in. And as we settle in, we intend to release all of our misunderstandings and fears, mistakes in our mind about anxiety. I surrender the illusions that aren't serving me anymore. They kept me safe. My defense mechanisms 100% kept me safe until this moment. But I'm ready to see something from a higher level, from a useful level. I'm ready to let go of the old. And we intend this. We create this for ourselves. And I'm ready to rest in the safety and the peace and the clarity of my common sense, of my wisdom, of my no nonsense, quiet information that I'm always connected to. Might happen at the same time as my thinking world. But I have a safety net and I'm gonna lean in and relax in towards that right now. Anything that feels bad isn't my wisdom. I lean in and I let go. And I just let myself kind of cruise here, leaning away from the one and leaning towards the other, being patient with my transition, but just perhaps catching a glimpse this morning. There is never wisdom in anxiety. Wisdom is quiet, simple, no nonsense information. What to do, what to not to do, wait, patience, go, stop. And once we start to get a feel for that, the anxiety looks less useful. But until we get a feel for that, it's all we know. No fault of our own, we were not guided, and now we open our minds to learn. Our wisdom will guide us to what it is that we need to bring ourselves back home. And maybe you just need to slow down a little bit today and lean towards it and get a sense of something else, not mystical or far out there or unattainable, but just a space in every human that says this and that and this and that. Beautiful. And so, as you've opened your mind and settled in, you just slowly start to bring your awareness back to the connection between your physical body and the furniture, the cushions, the ground, noticing all of those tiny points of contact. Noticing the space that your body occupies in your room. All parts of you gathering right here in this moment in time. Fresh start. As you place your awareness right behind your eyes. Planted inside of your body. On the furniture. In the room. On the earth. Starting to bring a few gentle, calming breaths in and out of the body. Nice and deep. Whenever you feel ready, you start to move from deeply breathing to just gently stretching and moving parts of your body that want to stretch or move. And in your own time, as you're ready to transition to the day, you can open up your eyes to the morning.